Welcome to María Alejandra OFF-TOPIC, the podcast about the non-musical things around music. My name is María Alejandra Jimenez and I'm a violinist, musician and writer. Besides this podcast, in OFF-TOPIC we also have a blog and a newsletter. Subscribe on your favorite audio platform so you don't miss an episode. And if you want to explore more, visit marialejandrajimenez.com, Jimenez with J and with Z. So, our guest today is Umberto Beccaria, an Italian pianist born in Mondovì in 1996. With a philosophy of music as an open and limitless art connected to emotions and beauty, he has performed at renowned venues in Europe, America, and Asia. Umberto develops compelling programs that he records live and in studio, featuring an extensive discography with works by composers such as Beethoven, Brahms, Chopin, Mendelssohn, Prokofiev, Schoenberg, Schubert, Schumann, Scriabin, Szymanowski, and Andrea Ravizza, exploring sound quality and texture. A significant part of Umberto's musical life is dedicated to the Classiche Armonie Festival, which he founded and now directs in his hometown of Carrù, Italy. The festival attracts prominent international musicians and offers audiences high-level concerts in a welcoming and intimate setting. Now, on a more personal note, how do I know Umberto? Well, he's also my boyfriend. We live and work together. I met him when I moved to Basel, and we immediately connected through our shared passions, especially our love for literature and art. Actually, our very first date was at Fondation Beyeler, an art museum in Basel. Umberto is one of the most creative humans I know. He's always bringing new ideas to life, and what sets him apart is his ability to turn them into reality. I feel incredibly lucky to share both my life and my artistic journey with him. And in today's episode, he's here to talk about books. And I'm super excited because we are both obsessed, like literally obsessed with the topic. We cannot keep buying books because our home is just getting too full of books.
Yes.
So, welcome Umbe, how are you?
So thank you very much. I'm very, very happy. I would say thank you for having me, but we are at our place, so no. And no, I'm very, very happy. Thank you for the beautiful things you said of me. And I'm okay. It's not the best moment in my life.
Yeah, I
and
know.
you know, but I'm super happy to do this and talk about something that is not music.
Yeah. Is there something else that you would like to share about you before we begin with the topic?
About me?
If you're happy with the introduction, we can
No,
just
I
leave
think
it at that.
it was a beautiful introduction. Yeah, I mean, it's what I do. I'm a pianist. I have this festival in Carrù, and I'm very proud of that. And yeah, we are reading a lot of books, and we have too many books. That is mainly my fault that I keep pushing to buy them, and even if we don't have a lot of space anymore. And I'm trying to exploring, especially in the last days, something that is not only related to piano, no, and
Yeah, that's very interesting because I feel like we are both going through a very similar musical path right now. We are exploring a lot of things that are beyond classical music. Among these things, this podcast actually. So this is one of these things. So actually, the first thing I want to ask to all the guests in this season is, do you have any recommendation to share? Like, it can be a movie, a TV show, a book, a place to eat. It can be like anything that you have been enjoying lately.
Yeah, so I wrote it in the last program of the booklet of the Festival of Classic Harmonie as well. And actually it's your fault that I got obsessed by this writer, no, by Roberto Bolaño. I would recommend everybody to read one of his books, especially the Detective Salvajes, and also 2666. That was a journey. Like last year, it took me the whole year basically to read it together with something else. Of course, it was something, yeah. And then also I have to say I didn't finish it yet, but I'm reading right now Just Kids by Patti Smith that you read already as well.
Yeah.
And I have to say that it's quite inspiring for somebody that aims to be an artist or try at least to be an artist. I think is something that would be very good to read. Then there are a lot of things there are way too many things to share. No?
Yeah. You actually went today to this exhibition /
yes,
gallery in Basel.
This place just around the corner is called Guillaume Dappen. They have a lot of fanzines and stuff like this. That is very cool. It was very fascinating, and I got a lot of ideas for a thing that I want to do that I will share maybe in the future. I don't know when this episode is going to air. So maybe this
probably
thing...
during spring, I don't know.
So maybe this thing is already reality or maybe not. I don't know. Let's see.
If it's already reality, we will share it somehow with the episode, no?
Yeah, but... it was very inspiring. There was this exhibition about like serigraphy, like press printing, I guess. I think it's in English. And very cool, very inspiring, I have to say. It's cool to take just a walk like this now in the neighborhood and
look for
being
things around.
Inspired from something that is very far away. I like to see stuff and also to dig into stuff without necessarily like reading about them before or studying them before, because I see something is beautiful or attracts me in some ways, and I just enjoy it, you know.
This is something like I think we're quite different on this, because I'm the contrary. Like I am the opposite. I read and investigate way too much before. But I'm the kind of person that actually reads the introductions in the book, and you are not at all. But we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, no, I don't like, but even in music, you know, like I never really studied a lot the life of composer. I mean, I know a lot of things because, you know, the studies and everything, but I don't know, I don't think it's necessary to enjoy per se a work of art. No, then of course can help maybe some context or but a work of art, I think it should be enjoyed by itself, no?
Yeah,
also.
This is something that I am learning, just to enjoy things on their own without like having to go too much in depth, just enjoying in the moment. So coming back to the recommendation, I actually agree. Roberto Bolaño is one of our favorite authors, both of us. And actually when we started dating, it was the first gift I gave to you.
It's one of the books that is more dear to me.
Yeah.
Dearest to me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
I gave Umberto a book like the translation Italian of Detective Salvajes by Roberto Bolaño. That is one of the books that makes me feel the most at home when I read it, because it deals a lot with the topic of identity.
Yeah.
And especially I feel like as musicians, especially as classical musicians, that we play music from other composers, and we often travel a lot for concerts, competition, work, and we often also study abroad. Like identity becomes quite a main thing.
Yeah.
So it's a book that I also recommend to
it's
everybody.
very beautiful. It's very human, No?
Yeah. And another question I have for you, actually, but I think you already replied, is what are you currently reading? Are you reading something else besides?
Yes, I mean, I'm reading
Just
Patti
kids?
Smith, as I said.
Yeah.
Then I'm reading a bit of poetry. I'm reading this book that is called So to Speak by Terrance. Yes. I'm still in the reading, and I found it in the bookstore where I work sometimes. So I don't know, the cover in a way fascinated me, and I read a couple of poems when I was in the bookstore, and I thought they were nice. So I'm just reading it a bit.
I'm actually very excited about that book. Also, from this library, you got me a book from Audre Lorde, The Black Unicorn, that I didn't know at all. And it was one of my favorite books last year. It actually made me cry. And I'm very much looking forward to read also the book from Terrance. How did you pronounce this name? Actually, Terrance.
I don't know.
I will write it somewhere.
And then I'm reading also the poems of Maria Santiago.
This is a very important one. Do you want to tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, I mean, I was reading because there are not a lot of books of Mario Santiago. That was the best friend of Bolaño. Actually, I know him through Bolaño, of course, and he's a character also. He's one of the two main characters in Bolaño's book, no, in Detectives Salvajes. And I was reading the Heta de Santo, that is an anthology of probably not all his works, because he used to write inside other people's books and stuff like this. So we don't know how many poems he wrote. Probably thousands of poems that nobody will ever find. But yeah, for me, reading in Spanish, like, it's not my main language. I can understand maybe a stupid sitcom, maybe, but reading this kind of stuff.
Yeah, especially poetry.
Yes, I think this kind of poetry is very complex and weird sometimes. And so I bought this translation by this guy that is Arturo Mantecon. And I'm enjoying them in a different way now that I can read them in English, even though I feel that something, like when I read the translation and I compare it straight to the Spanish, I have the feeling that something like a little bit of magic is lost.
It becomes kind of clean in a way, kind of cleaner, because what is really cool about María Santiago Papasquiaro, that actually he got known because he became a main character in Detectives Salvajes.
Yes.
Is that his poetry is a weird mix between Rimbaud and French poetry, and then something about it there is something about it that is also very dirty, blasphemous, raw. Yeah, it's like very dirty, not pretty poetry, I will say, but at the same time it's very beautiful in a way. So
yes,
when it's translated to English, suddenly it becomes a bit too clean, like.
Yes. No, I agree. I mean, when he was alive, he basically didn't publish anything. He published a couple of short books, I think, and then he was killed. He was hit by a car in Mexico City, and he passed away. And but yeah, I like the style. It actually inspired me to write something myself. I don't know if it wasn't for him, if I was going to try to write something myself also.
Yeah.
In a way, I don't know. I mean, I still have a lot of poems of him to read, but you need time, like reading one poem, sometimes it feels like reading two books. For me, especially when they are so dense.
With poetry, I feel like you don't read it in the same way you read prose. Like, you need a bit of time to assimilate each poem.
Yeah, even one line.
Even one line of a poem, sometimes it takes a while, it stays with you. So, actually, another question I want to ask, and this is a question I would love to ask to all the guests, is what is the first memory associated with this topic? In this case, what is your first memory associated with books, or the first one you remember? Like, I know it's a bit of a difficult question, because sometimes you ask like, what is your first memory about this? And there are a lot of like first memories. It's difficult to place them on time, but if there is one that was important for you.
I mean, the most vivid memories are not so early. Like, I remember reading some books, but I was already, I don't know, 12, 13, like a bit already more important, like not books for kids, For sure I read some stuff for kids, but I don't really remember a lot, I remember, of course, reading and studying for school, like since I was little. But I think I remember this very clearly, like on holidays. I don't remember how old I was. I was probably doing the scuole medie in Italy, so 12, 13. Yeah. And I read the trilogy of Calvino. So il barone Rampante and il cavaliere inesistente, il visconte dimezzato. That I mean, I would like to read them again now to see which kind of feeling I would bring with me right now, no? Because when I read them, I loved them, when at that age, and I thought it was magical. They were magical in a way. So this is quite one of the strongest memories I have. I don't know if I'm forgetting something before that, but this marked me, I think, in a way. Also, I'm looking now at the covers with the sculptures of Fausto Melotti. That was the uncle of Maurizio Pollini.
Maurizio Pollini,
actually, that. Also listening to Pollini when I was a kid, it marked me, actually. So everything is connected,
everything connected, yes.
And then I would say, when I was a teenager, like 15, 16, I started reading properly. Some books that I remember a lot the feeling of reading them. Like, I have some images, because when I read, I don't know, I guess it's like this for everybody, or I don't know, maybe I build myself some mental images, no? Like of a place, of a picture, or a character even, and for example, I remember I don't know, of reading Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, or Albert Camus also, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, 100 Years of Solitude. And I don't remember the plot or what happens at all.
Yeah.
I want to read them again. But I remember like some images, the feeling that...
but I understand.
That I have of it, like...
Yeah, because, I understand. Like, I used to call this, like, when I remember more the feeling, I call it the climate. Like, you remember the climate. Like, sometimes when it's the first day of where it's sunny after winter here in Europe, suddenly it brings you so many memories of of your last summer. And I feel like with books it's the same. Like, you remember the taste or the flavor.
Yeah,
that is something very...
This place is feeling like...
very subtle. It's not really that evident. But that kind of stays with you somehow.
Yeah, but it's like with records.
Yeah.
Non-classical, I mean. Like, there, I remember this, I was watching this interview some years ago by Alex Turner, that is the singer of Arctic Monkeys, and he was talking about Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, that is one of my favorite albums ever, actually. And he was saying that for him, or something like this, I hope I'm not quoting wrong, that's records for him are like places, no?
Yeah.
This is why also I guess he named Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, no, the album and the song as well.
Yeah.
And I feel a bit the same with books, no, that you read them, they bring you in places that, you know, sometimes I think about it like maybe the writers, they write something with an image in mind or a scenario that is completely different from what we get, no? Maybe they describe a room, and yes, there are maybe there's a description of the room of some stuff. I don't know, the table is black, whatever, but like details like this. But I don't know if then like the picture they have is the same that we get, and I think this is also beautiful, no? Like
this is very beautiful about that. Then we will have to do in the future another episode talking about recordings. That is a huge passion of you. Yes. And in this case, a passion that actually you transmitted to me, because I didn't have this passion for recordings themselves. But this is something to talk about in...
We have a lot of vinyls.
Yes, this is something to talk about like in future episodes as well. Thank you so much for sharing. Like, also like as somebody that I always read, and reading and books were always very closely related to me as well as a musician. And like I feel like the first memories I have of books are very magical, because like the first time entering like a kind of a wonderland in a way, like reading is such a unique experience, no, that cannot be replicated. And
it's very magical, but everything has its own magic, no? Like good movie, good cinema, good music, but they're all different. Like they give you different kind of feelings, I feel. It's a different kind of magic, to quote Freddie Mercury. Huh?
Yeah, and related to that, like, do you think your love for books is integrated somehow with your life as a musician, or they're separated? Does it inspire you or not? Like, how do you experience that?
I mean, for sure, I don't know if it inspires me in a straightforward way, like I read something and then I play something because I'm inspired by that or something like this, you know, like very close. But for sure it inspires me like in the way that I enriched myself a lot reading certain things, or I feel also the way we think a bit in a way is modeled by the culture we consume a bit, no? Also a bit the way we are, no? In some ways. So I guess in the art I do, there is a lot of there are a lot of influences of what I read or what I watched. I mean, for sure. And this I remember very well reading it, and I read it 3 or 4 times, this book actually, by Pierre Boulez, that was one of the biggest composers of last century, and also like
20th century.
He passed away, I think.
When did he pass away?
10 years ago already.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
2015, I think it was. Anyway, that he was talking about Paul Klee, that is one of my favorite visual artists, that he also wrote poetry. I have a collection of poetry.
Yes.
Paul Klee. And I did my final paper of my high school about this book. And for the first time, I mean, it's related to what you're talking, because it talks a lot like about Paul Klee music, but not only like about how certain techniques in painting, for example, they influence the music, the composition, visuals, like is a lot of things that it talks about. And it was very inspiring to me, like not only in the specific thing, like some techniques that Klee was using that could have been used also by composers, but more in general to think art like is not only this or that, or like everything is connected in a way. I feel.
I mean, this is very interesting because I'm very I'm also very passionate about spirituality, and this is something that we will touch on this season of the podcast with another guest. But there is this rule that says, I just realized that I don't know the rule in English, but as it is above, it is under. I don't know if I'm translating it properly. I know it in Spanish.
Yeah.
Meaning that everything have a resonance on a macro level, on a micro level, everything. Yes. And I guess that with arts, it's very similar. I mean, this is a very complex concept, very difficult to develop right now, but with art, it's similar. I feel like in art, whatever art that you consume resonates on a macro or a micro level in everything you do and in the way you perceive the world. It adds like new layers on your perception of things.
Yeah, it's a bit what I was saying before, that a work of art should be enjoyed as it is, like on a simple, let's say, level.
Yeah.
But also, like, the great work of arts, they have another layer. No, like I think Bolaño was saying this, also that like a book is enjoyable on a first reading, no? Yeah. But then also after 10 times you read the same book, like there are so many meanings, and is deep, and it opens new doors, of your perception, or like of thinking, and I think it should be. It should be a bit like this.
It's very interesting because also, like, on another topic, a bit unrelated to this, but this is the off-topic podcast, so we are allowed to go off-topic. Also, I am a huge advocate of mental health and the importance of going to therapy. And very often, like, sometimes I go to therapy, my therapist tells me something, and in the moment I don't understand it, but it stays with you, and after some months, it clicks, because it stays with you. And I feel like with art it's the same. Like everything, any painting, any book, any music that you consume, it stays with you, and it's always creating some sort of resonance.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's very evident, and sometimes it's less evident, but it's always there.
It's there for sure.
I feel like this is why art is so important, and also like the reason why I wanted to do this podcast, expanding on different things, because I feel sometimes like as classical musicians we don't allow ourselves to experience other things in life. We stay too much like focused on one thing and getting really good at one thing, and we don't realize that everything in life, art, relationships, everything that we do is always creating a kind of a resonance in ourselves and nourishing also the music and the art that we produce.
Yeah. In classical music they tell you that there is this big lie that classical music is in one way, and if you don't do it that way, it's not good. Yeah. But music is something else. It's not that.
Yeah. Okay, so here comes another question that I have. What kind of books do you enjoy the most, and why?
Like genres, type, in general?
Yeah, in general, anything. Type of novel, type of characters, type of genres, whatever.
I mean, when I want to read something a bit more, let's say chill, but they're not chill, no? Because there are a lot of murders and stuff. But maybe like crime book. I love Simenon.
Yeah.
To read, like, I read them very fast. Then I guess I like the books, basically all of them. I don't know.
Do you have like a guilty pleasure with books? Something that you are ashamed to admit that you enjoy, or not really? Like, I actually have a lot of guilty pleasures.
Not really.
Like, with books, especially, like I read a lot of terrible books just because they're really fun and entertaining. Yeah.
I'm thinking, but not really.
Yeah.
I mean, these are. I was saying that I enjoy these ones, but and then basically I enjoy like I don't know, a book like Detective or all the Bolaño's book, but all the books eventually are a bit about the human condition, no?
Yeah, of course.
And the human misery, and
So
I enjoy when when in a book you can say really you can see these things, and of course, I mean, the stories were crafted and everything, like. I mean, for example, I enjoyed also to read 2666 because it's talking about something terrible that happened.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember and think about certain things, I think.
What a book. Like,
yes.
It's very well written.
And he didn't even finish it.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny because like we're talking here about the books that we enjoy the most, but I will say that this book, you suffer it when you read it, because it shows reality with all its cruelty as it is, no?
Because reality. A lot of terrible things happen.
I mean, life
on a small and a big level.
Also, and eventually life is this. No, life is all the beautiful things, but also all the horrible things, and they're both like happening at the same time.
Yeah. For example, Detective, I feel, is a bit more.
It's more enjoyable.
It's more like a celebration in a way.
Yeah, it's more a celebration of the everyday of life.
Yeah.
And 266 is a condemnation of life. Yeah. I always say 26666. I always made the mistake with the numbers of 6, but it's actually 36. So it's 266.
Yeah, I mean, Bolaño says it that Amuleto, the book that is taken from Detective Salvajes, is like a black mirror of Detective Salvajes, because Detective is more like fiesta, he says.
Yeah, it's a fiesta.
Epica, no? Like in a kind of Ariosto way, I guess he means.
Yeah,
but
the epic of the bright.
But
yeah.
So I enjoy these books, but also, I don't know. I wouldn't say that I have
like a guilty pleasure. Or a fixation on one thing. A fixed state. Yeah.
Sometimes I read some books that they are. I feel it. I feel that they are cheap,
Yeah.
So, but I cannot finish them when it's like this.
Yeah.
I don't even.
I have to say that sometimes I enjoy reading really bad books because they're very entertaining, and I do it. But I love extremes. So I guess I like to read books that are challenging, and I really commit to them. Like every year I try to read a big book. Like this year was 2666, but
This year?
This year, I think it's going to be Infinite.
Infinite Jest.
I will try it. La broma infinita, Infinite Jest.
Yeah, I bought it as well in the bookstore.
Yes, we bought it as well in this bookstore.
It's very big in English.
Labyrinth store in Basel. So if you are in Basel,
yes,
they're not paying us, but it's amazing. They're the kindest people, super cute people.
Super beautiful place. So if you are
around Basel and you want to buy some books, go there because they are the best.
Yes.
So
I don't know where actually came from my. I really love South American literature.
Yeah.
And I don't know from where it comes from. I don't know if these. Because I was already fascinated before you gave me this book. I was already fascinated in general by. I didn't read a lot of it, but I was fascinated by it. I don't know if it's because of this reading I did of Garcia Marquez.
Yeah.
But I like it a lot, I read, I don't know how many Bolaño's book. I read Borges, Finzioni that I found incredible. I should read it again.
I'm reading it right now.
Because there are some incredible stuff in
Finciones
Finciones.
is fictions in English.
Yes.
Sorry, we actually speak both together, a mix of English, Spanish, and Italian. We'll try to be sage and speak in English. But
it's a series of short stories.
Yeah.
I don't remember in which short story, and this line marked me a lot. There is a guy that is a playwright. I don't want to mix up because I read so many stories in the last year that I am... but at some point, this guy says that one of the main conditions of art is that is not real, in a way, no? And this marked me a lot, actually, and But I would say I enjoy this, and I enjoy poetry a lot. You asked me before what I enjoy,
Umberto
which genres and
enjoys
stuff.
Poetry a lot.
Yeah.
This year, lately, I've been reading a lot of poetry and trying to read a lot of poetry lately. Inspired, by the way, by Patti Smith, that is, besides an amazing musician, is a incredible poet. I think first a poet than a musician somehow, in a way. Yeah. And the last question I have for you before we go to the next section of the podcast is, do you have a special ritual around reading? Or some habits or things that you need? You are very chill, like I'm more like maniac.
I don't have a special ritual. I like to be in silence though.
Yeah.
When I read.
You don't put music, you don't like to be interrupted. No. Yeah.
Like also it bothers me a lot when I'm maybe there's somebody around me that's just talking and stuff like this.
Sometimes I do that. I'm really sorry.
No, but maybe somebody that I don't know, maybe we are in the family and it's not a problem, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Or there's the TV on, stuff like this, I prefer to read alone, you know?
Yeah.
But somehow I don't know, when I read, for example, in the tram, I don't know.
You cannot focus.
No, I can in a way because it's kind of a white noise in the back.
White noise, yeah.
It's I mean, if there's not somebody shouting or but that I would is kind of a thing that makes my reading better, the silence, but other than that, I read a bit everywhere.
Yeah. I have kind of a ritual.
I like reading standing.
Yeah, you like reading standing?
I like reading standing poetry in the window.
Yeah.
This I like.
Yeah.
Very cliche.
It's very sweet because I come to the living room and Umberto is looking at the window and reading poetry.
Reading Mario Santiago.
By the poetry.
Not understanding anything.
Not understanding anything. Yeah, I actually have a ritual. I like to write, when I finish a book at the end, I like to sign the books and write when did I finish it. So if you are in a secondhand store and you find a book that has my name and is written the date, and I don't know, I like the idea that maybe some people is going to read it and they are going to know in the future and they're going to know when I read it.
Like Maria Santiago writing poems.
In the corners of the other people's book. Okay.
Imagine finding a book in your
you go to the second hand store and there is a poem of Maria Santiago inside.
I think nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Like only me and you. No.
Yeah.
I mean, not only me and you, but for sure it's not as recognized as it should be.
Yeah, I agree. And one last comment, like, it's very funny because also, like, when I met you, like, the way you are, somehow I feel like it connects a lot with South American. I mean, I'm Venezuelan, and I feel like somehow we connected a lot. And this is why also I gave you Detectives Salvaje. How do you say it?
Savage, I think, Detectives.
Yeah, Detectives by Bolaño, because I thought like this book fits you incredible, like fits a lot your personality, the way you are. Like, this kind of wildness.
The way of writing, they have,
nature,
and way more rebellious than what it looks.
Than what it looks.
I was always told to not be, with the piano and stuff like this, but I enjoyed also this book by Cortázar.
Which one? Bestiario?
No.
El Perseguidor.
Yes.
I don't know the English name of it. I will check it out. I
It's
think
this book about Charlie Parker that he
Charlie
calls
Parker.
Johnny.
Yeah, I think I will do a little document with all the recommendations of the guests. Maybe to share,
all the books we talked about now are
and
amazing.
All the stuff I will talk about with other guests. I'm really looking forward. This is actually the first episode we are recording. It's not going to be the first to be released, but it's the very first episode, so it's very special for me.
Yes, for me too.
Great. So before we wrap up, I actually prepared a little game that I'm going to do with all the guests, just to shake things up a little, and also so you get to know the guest even better. So are you ready to play a bit?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
So here we go. It's actually very simple. So it's actually two little games, two little activities. So the first one is a series of this or that questions. Very simple. I have a huge list with those, and I take 5 randomly.
Okay.
So here we go. Some of them I know, but you will reply for the guests, not for me. So here we go. So, are you morning person or a night owl?
Night.
Yeah, I'm more of a morning person.
Definitely night.
So next question. Art gallery or concert?
It depends. If it's a classical concert, then I would say art gallery. If it's another kind of concert, maybe concert.
Yeah.
But let's say art gallery.
Yeah.
My final answer is art gallery. Yeah, because I shouldn't explain that. No, like it's this or that. So I already talked too much.
Sorry.
Actually.
Yeah. So here we go. So travel alone or with friends?
No, with friends or with you.
Oh, me.
Even better, yeah.
Better, yeah. This is difficult. Pizza or pasta?
Pizza.
So success or happiness?
No, happiness, of course.
Happiness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Success doesn't exist either, anyway.
Yeah, we are a bit in a mood right in the house. That's
no, but it's
it's a fantasy, no?
It's all fake.
Okay, and now I have a list of words, and you're going to tell me without thinking the first thing that comes to your mind. Without thinking, as fast as possible.
Oh, okay, so you're going to say some words?
And you say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. So, memory.
It's difficult.
First one.
Memory. Book.
Music.
Sadness.
Silence.
Beauty.
Color.
Happiness.
Freedom.
Illusion.
You can also reply with sentences if you want.
Yeah.
Love.
Is the answer, no?
Love is the
John
answer.
Lennon would say.
Chaos.
Chaos is good.
Journey.
Is the good part.
Home.
Safety.
Rhythm.
Heartbeat.
Dream.
Is the only thing that matters, no?
Yeah. Change.
Good. It's good.
Voice.
Voice. Something unique.
Roots.
Roots, they're very, very important. Everybody that forgets their root is... I don't want to say bad words. He's not a good person. No, I'm joking.
Fear.
Fear is also necessary in a way, no?
Future.
It's bright.
Connection.
Connection with humans or like in general?
General.
bond. I don't know. Connection. Yeah, I don't know.
Art?
Something weird.
Something
Connections. Yeah, it's weird.
Weird. Art?
Air.
Pleasure?
Essential.
Pain?
Essential as well.
Failure?
Also, like
Essential.
very necessary. If you want to achieve something, it's very necessary.
And the final word is success.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Great. So actually we are coming to the end of this episode. So before we say goodbye, I would like to ask you. We did it. I would like to ask you.
Beautiful friend. The end.
This is the end, like the song of the door.
Yes, listen to that.
Listen to that. Before we say goodbye, I would like to ask you, what's the best advice you have ever received, or any advice that you would like to share with our listeners about life, music, or creativity, or anything at all?
Oh, advice? I don't know. I was doing an interview with a friend of us, no, that he also asked me which is the best advice that you got, and I guess it was more referring to music. I think I don't remember actually, and I say that the best advices I gave them to myself, but meaning that all the most important things they come from yourself, no. So I would say actually that the best advices that I got is to trust my instinct and to do more what I feel, maybe.
Yeah.
That this doesn't mean going in the street and burning everything, but it's be more...
Following more the gut feeling, no?
Yes.
Being more coherent.
Yes, maybe that is a good... is a good advice. I mean, there's too much fake people and fake things in the world, and I don't know. It's
very sad.
It's very sad, and if you're, I don't know. I feel that if I'm not true with myself, I don't know. I cannot live like that.
Yeah, I agree. Like I struggle a lot because also.
I mean, is not good in modern society, like because everybody's fake and everybody's an ass licker, so it's difficult to live.
It's difficult to be true to yourself in a world where, like, in a society where you are kind of forced to be in certain ways, and if you are not, you're out. But I think it's very important because when you are true to yourself, you make nicer connections. It's less weird, the connections.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Because they are true.
Yes.
Because they're everything. The thing is that everything you do, but everything. Even the small things, they are true.
Yeah.
They are more meaningful because there's something that comes from a place of purity and not I have to do this because maybe I get that, or mere interest.
So actually, this is the end.
Do.
So thank you so much for joining me today, which is funny because we live together. We just sat in our sofa and talked for 1 hour. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Actually,
we should do it more often. Like.
Yeah, I don't know. I forgot completely to see at what time we started. So maybe we talked for 20 minutes or for 2 hours.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
I think 50 minutes. We will see.
Yeah,
so I really liked having you in the podcast.
For me too. It was very beautiful.
Episode.
Thank you. There are so many things that
we
could say,
together.
but
we will do more episodes together.
We will see.
So where can people learn more about your work? Like where can they find you?
So on my website there's everything I do.
So his website is
www.umbertobeccaria.com.
See, I will put it on the description of the episode. So
and also my YouTube channel. There are all my official recordings and videos. Of course, also on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. Actually, in all the digital platforms, you can find my recordings. And on my website, I'm starting to put also something non-musical. Let's see, maybe is the beginning of something different.
If you are bored right now, go check his website. There are a lot of little surprises there, and it's very fun.
Yeah, I put some little pictures. Maybe when this podcast is going to be out, there's going to be out something else. Let's
see. So, and to you who are listening, thank you for joining us in this episode of María Alejandra Off-Topic. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did, as much as we did. So if you want to share any comments or questions, feel free to write to me. You will find the contact form on my website. I would love to read you all. Remember that you can find more contents like this one on the Off-Topic blog and newsletter. Subscribe on your favorite audio platform so you don't miss the next episode. And if you want to be part of our community, visit mariaalejandrajimenez.com. Jimenez with J and with Z. Finally, if you like this episode, please share it with your favorite people and or leave us a rating on your podcast platform. This will help me a lot to keep growing and creating more episodes like this one. And that's it for today. See you next time for more off-topic conversations. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.